Welcome to First Impressions. This is Twin Peaks, episode 5, our first, actually you mentioned it just now, our first Nadine-less episode for a while.
And we are all much more thankful for that.
So there's no Nadine.
No overbearing amounts of weirdness in general in this episode. Like last episode was the sad sort of funeral-y one. This one was like the the mystery one, the sort of a lot of people like doing a lot of
moving forward.
Yeah, a lot of people tracking people down or framing other people or investigating stuff. So it started. It had a real sort of spy movie sort of vibe to it. The music didn't hurt either.
The music was very ominous.
Like we didn't have anybody breaking down, crying, or trying to dance with people, or we didn't have people falling on coffins.
In fact, Leland was actually the most together I've seen him, because he was like out and out sarcastic, because the episode opens with them. And again, these are like the most patient people in the world. In the real world, if a woman came up to you and said, "Hey, I've had a vision of the murderer,"
you'd be like, well,
but these police are like, "Okay, sure, let's get a description of him and draw him." It's kind of that heightened reality, like you said, but Leland comes in and is like flat out sarcastic about it, and suddenly it's like, you don't really have a right to say she's, you know, to be sarcastic with her, given how you've been acting lately.
Well, maybe he's gotten all that grieving nonsense out of him now. Like, he did dive onto her casket. So.
That's true. That messes up a man. I guess that sobers up a man.
Yeah. We had the introduction of, what's his name?
Oh, yeah, so that's another one. Norma's husband, I forget his name already. Is it Frank?
Could be.
Maybe?
The guy in prison, at the very least.
But, yeah, you also get the sense that Josie is in over her head a bit, in some way. Before, she just kind of seemed like this, you know, like a victim kind of thing, or she's like this innocent widow who's just put upon and that sort of thing. No, you find out she's also kind of has dealings with people. So there's this guy, Frank, who's in jail. Well, you know he's on parole now, and he's going to be coming back to the town. You can already sort of see that's going to spell trouble for quite a few people.
he had the closing scene in this episode, and he very much established himself as somebody who belongs in a David Lynch show.
I feel like we should count up the number of men in this show who aren't douches. I feel like they're still.
Well, the sheriff isn't a douche.
Sheriff,
and Cooper's not a douche.
Andy's not a douche.
Yeah.
No. Okay, the police. So the police guys. That's 4.
Yeah.
Maybe Donna's dad is 5. So yeah, that's 5 guys.
Yeah.
5 guys who are not douches, and like 10 who are.
Yeah.
Bobby again is trying to get more into it. He's
Bobby's very ambitious. I've noticed that. Like he's found himself a way to sort of, I guess, in his own twisted mind, get revenge for Laura by sticking it to Leo.
Maybe. Also, he's also... I love how he's like, James was, you know, cheating, or Laura was cheating on James while we were
Laura was
dating.
cheating on me with James.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's got, what's her name, on top of him at the time.
I know. I'm like, you were cheating on Laura. I don't... Why are you... Oh, I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
It's like, how dare you? I'm like, how dare you? You also, we get to know Laura's cousin a bit more. Did you notice... What was...
I noticed that, I thought I noticed what you were hinting at last time we sat down, but I guess not, because I noticed that, like, besides her big-ass giant glasses and the fact that she's got a pearl necklace on, which I think signifies something, although James mentioned something in the episode that she looks a lot like Laura, and I was like, is that supposed to mean something? I don't know.
It is in the... Can I just tell you? It's not that big
fine.
of a deal, actually. It's the same actress.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So it's the same actress, and
it's the hair that threw me off, because Laura was like a blonde, and this girl's got dark hair. Okay,
dark, horrible wig hair. And,
so that would have been my first educated guess. Okay, so it's the same actress. The scene between Jane and Audrey in the bathroom at the school was probably my favorite.
Jane, you mean Donna?
Donna and Audrey.
Just made up a name altogether.
Yeah, this is going to be an ongoing thing for all of First Impressions. It's going to be me screwing up the names. That's why I'm glad I have you with me.
Yeah.
But there was an episode with those two characters in the bathroom at their high school where she's just hashing out her master plan to do her own investigation. But I love how that bathroom is set because it's got this weird design in it that's so...
Our high school bathroom was not nearly...
No way! It was very, very distracting. And that's what I love about this show.
Yeah, then you had Audrey, like you said, starting her own investigation. She's taking things into her own hands.
And she, oh man, did she ever play her dad in that one scene? That was actually a very, very well acted scenes. There was no David Lynch weirdness getting in the way, except for the dad on the bike continuously pedaling, and that pedaling noise, which I was just kind of like, that's the thing. There's always one thing in every scene. There's always one thing
that's slightly...
It's always one thing, and that was it, because there was no music, it was just this squeak, 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 squeak. I'm like, okay, that's the thing. But regardless, yeah, she comes in, she totally, plays the little princess role and gets her daddy to sort of like come around to what she wants to do.
Yep. There was a shooting range scene, which...
Oh, it was just Cooper, being a very sort of paternal presence around the rest of the cops.
Paternal presence is in like, hey guys, you're cops. Maybe we should learn to shoot. God.
Right, because the crybaby cop, they go to do like a raid or something like that, and he drops his gun and it goes off.
Oh yeah, I was like yelling at the screen. Also, the Mill stuff just keeps. Oh yeah, you find out that Mill lady, Catherine is sleeping with the hotel man. So
we found that out earlier.
Is that the last episode?
No, that was a couple episodes ago. That was a while back ago.
Really?
They had one scene where they were like getting dressed afterwards, and that I already knew.
Okay.
Yeah. Another in the column of, there wasn't a whole lot of it this episode, but another in the column of the David Lynch what the F sort of ness is. A lot of scenes in this episode started with like a very close up shot of an animal's head, whether it be mounted on the wall or they actually go to a veterinarian office and there's like a llama standing in the middle of there. What? Like that scene cut in, and it was just the llama and everything. And then behind it, not only that, there's a gigantic, bright red novelty fire hydrant sitting there. And I didn't know what to react to first when I first saw the scene.
So given that there's less paranormal stuff, would you say still...
I'm getting a little bit more invested in the actual drama and stuff, but I'm still holding out for really blow me out of my socks scenes like the Red Dream or whatever.
Yeah, that seemed to be the big hook episode.
Yeah, I'm thinking, like, I'm patient enough to wade through what we've had in the last couple of episodes for something like that to pop up out of nowhere and just, like, hit me over the head again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm willing to wade through that. But at the same time, obviously you can tell that I'm struggling a little bit with which character's which and what their relationships are, because never mind that, heavy duty dramas like this and everything aren't exactly my cup of tea normally, but with the David Lynch and stuff stacked on top of it, it makes it kind of tricky for me to chase things around and know what relationships are.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to stick it out just because I like seeing,
at least until we find
funny stuff.
Laura Palmer's killer.
Yeah, that's the ultimate cliffhanger that all this is winding up to. And
they did find the one-armed man.
Yes, they did, and that whole scene was very awkward because it was him having one arm was the thing in that scene.
Yeah.
Like I said, every scene has one thing in it that just really sort of draws your attention away from what's actually going on in the scene. Whether it's, how the camera's shot, what music's playing, something like aesthetically that's going on. There's always one thing, and that's actually what's keeping me sort of invested in this episode. I'm always on the lookout for that one thing, maybe to a fault because it's drawing my attention away from paying attention to what's going on in the story.
All right, I think
we're good.
I think that's it for now.
Yep.
So thanks for joining us, guys. We will eventually be moving on to episode 6 and seeing
how many episodes is the first season.
I forget, to be honest.
Probably like a dozen or so.
Yeah,
dozen,
something
maybe.
like that. Seeing how things are moving along now. Yeah.
I'm curious as to how this, I know that there's 2 seasons and that's it. So, what happens when, season 1 ends and season 2 begins?
After season 1 ends, David Lynch leaves, unfortunately.
Oh. Well, we'll have to see how he makes his exit.
Alright. Well, thanks guys, and we will catch you later. Bye-bye!